Well, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S., but here's some good news. 80% of cases can be prevented with the right steps. A simple blood test could make all the difference.
Joining us from Atlanta are Catherine, founder of Family Heart Foundation, and Dr. Larry Sperling to share some tips to keep your heart healthy. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for helping us educate your listeners this morning.
Absolutely. Let's start with you, Dr. Sperling. Can you share more about the impact cardiovascular disease has on Americans?
This is a really important question. As you led into this, heart disease is the #1 cause of death in our nation, and most Americans are at risk for heart disease and stroke. We know that heart disease affects most families like my own, and I'm a preventive cardiologist. I've dedicated my career to heart disease prevention. 80% or more of heart-related events are preventable, and this is something that each and every one of us should be aware of, that we can take the first step in heart disease prevention, and that's awareness of our heart disease risk factors.
Well, that's great to hear that there's something we can do, and maybe let's lean into that a little bit. My follow-up is, what can we do to try to combat heart disease, Dr. Sperling?
There's a lot we can do to combat heart disease, and that awareness of risk factors should begin now, because the earlier we are aware of our risk factors, the more we jump into addressing those risk factors. So today we'll talk about two of these: LDL cholesterol, and by lowering our LDL, we can directly lower our heart-related risk. The other risk factor that most Americans are unlikely aware of is called lipoprotein(a) or Lp(a). This is a genetic risk factor, and it's present in 1 out of every 5 individuals worldwide. It's a triple threat. It increases inflammation, plaque buildup in the arteries, and the risk for clotting. Now, good news for your listeners, that we, through a simple blood test, can be aware of our LDL and our Lp(a). This is the start of actionable partnership with our doctor or clinical team to address risk and make a difference in our lives and that of our families.
Great.
Yeah. So, Catherine, switching things over to you, can you talk about how your organization is working to kind of fight this epidemic?
So the Family Heart Foundation is dedicated to empowering people with knowledge and support that they need to either live with cardiovascular disease successfully or hopefully to prevent it. And what we know is that the single biggest issue when it comes to Lp(a) is that people have never been screened. And it's not part of a normal screening protocol. So less than 5% of Americans today have ever been screened for lipoprotein(a). We also know that about 70 million Americans walk around with very uncontrolled and dangerous levels of LDL cholesterol. So one of the things that we've recently launched is an opportunity for every American, regardless of their insurance status or where they live, to take advantage of free at-home screening and support to understand their risk with these two factors in their blood and know what they need to do next. And it's called Cholesterol Connect.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing that you provide that. Is there anything else that we need to know, and where can we go for some more information?
So individuals they need one way or the other to know what their LDL level is and to know their lipoprotein(a) level. They can go to their physician or they can go to cholesterolconnect.org and take advantage of this opportunity to get free screening and support.
That's
Amazing.
Great. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you both for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys can order the test.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Well, that was interesting. That was good stuff to know. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I feel better knowing that we're making steps, and simple steps can make a big difference, right? And I do feel like it's something that we need to keep top of mind.
Absolutely. And